What is up? Welcome to the Rockwarness Podcast, where we talk to songwriters about their musical journey from its very beginning, and they play us one of the first songs they ever wrote. They tell us what kept them on the path, where the road has taken them, and where they're headed next. We're your hosts. I'm Rose Sean.
I'm Terrence LeClaire.
And I'm Tony Tancredi.
And we just faked you out because I'm actually doing this by myself. Terrence and Tony are off on tour and out-of-town gigs and having adventures. So it's just me in my noisy little neighborhood. I may also be ferociously pruning my backyard, but today's guest is a multidisciplinary artist. She sings, raps, dances, models, paints, choreographs, and probably a lot of other things, but most importantly, she's a songwriter, performer, and visionary. I'm talking about Kianah LongChase, known musically as TwoLips. She started performing under that name in 2017, starting in a more R&B style before transitioning into what she calls identifiably Afro-Indigenous rap. She's performed all over California, New York, even parts of Europe, including in the girls' school Yoko Ono tribute choir alongside St. Vincent, Mia Follick, Sudan Archives, and Men I Trust. Her music is eclectic and interesting, her beats are sick, her lyrics are intricate and clever, and her live shows are pure energy. Get ready to be inspired as we talk about playing in punk bands, the responsibility of the performer, and the constantly shifting concept of home. Stick around to hear about why she left the praise band in high school and why TikTok maybe isn't so bad. Open up your ears and your minds to Kianah LongChase, TwoLips.
You know, the original, like, if you read Cowboys and Indies and stuff, the original genres, I think, were like classics and then race records, the colored records,
Right.
You know, and that's like literally built into the binary of the music industry. And I just hate when I'm listening to New Music Friday, and because I listen to it every week as a student.
Really?
Yeah.
On Spotify?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Just to
yeah.
see, and it's mostly like, you could just tell it's someone's niece.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the entertainment industry, yeah.
You know?
That's hilarious.
And
Because, probably.
Welcome to Rockwarness, Kianah.
Welcome.
thank you.
Welcome, TwoLips.
TwoLips.
Thank you.
So, let's see. This is, I don't know, we like to kind of start as far back as possible. So tell us about when you first started playing music.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to be thinking about this. So I first was a dancer. First did dance and musical theater, in ballet, hip hop, contemporary, modern, and always was singing to myself. And then I was 15 and I went to Warped Tour. And
Yes.
I just remember seeing all these crusty dudes running around and thinking, if they can do this, I can absolutely do this. If they're confident enough to like think they wrote a good song. And so I went home. I literally went home from Warped Tour and got on Craigslist and started looking for a band.
Love it.
And so the first band that accepted me was this punk band called Emergency Ahead.
Nice.
And played with them for a couple of years and then just started band hopping after that.
What were you playing?
Yeah.
I was singing.
Nice.
I played a little bit of bass guitar for that band too, because I did orchestra when I was in middle school. I played the upright bass.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Oh, okay.
The big
Way to
boy.
bury the lead.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like a really cool instrument and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I think I just, started to care what people thought.
But then your mom was
Yeah,
like,
totally.
if you play upright bass, we're going to have to buy a different car to carry it.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And I like wanted to be free of holding anything,
It's-
yeah. as a
yeah.
dancer too.
Right.
Oh, I can imagine.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the first shows that I was playing were all of these underground punk shows in New Mexico, and just being irresponsible
Love it.
entirely. I think there's part of me that'll always be this way, that I'll always consider it's not really a show unless it's protest and I really found a home in the punk scene
Love
for
it. Were they
that reason.
Yeah. Were they like pop-up shows, like were they like venues, or were they just everywhere? Like,
It'd
what
be
was the scene
venues,
like?
people's basements,
Nice.
coffee shops,
Anywhere.
that we
Yeah.
would destroy and not be invited back to. at all.
Emergency ahead.
I know it's in the name.
Yeah, like,
you know,
watch
what were you
out.
expecting?
Yeah. What were they? What were they expecting? You know what? It's really their fault.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then where in New Mexico?
So I'm from northern New Mexico, Tasuka specifically, which is north of Santa Fe. And then I went to high school and college in Albuquerque.
Nice.
Oh, right on.
And that's where I was making music. And I think also there's just a lot of punk and metal fans in a lot of these flyover states in these kind of part
Oh,
of
yeah.
That's so true.
Absolutely.
you know,
yeah.
the country that that's just the music that was also being made by people my age in that part of the country.
That makes sense.
That's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I think especially when you're kind of trying to put yourself out there as like a singer who needs a band or a singer who wants to be in a band, I think you are a little bit like at the mercy of whatever
What's
is
being made.
what's going on locally. Because I only did that for like a second when I was in college, and it was like all cover bands, all sort of terrible.
It was
music.
Western bands,
Yeah.
wedding cover bands.
Yeah.
You know, I was in a screamo band for a while.
Oh, that
Oh,
sounds
nice.
fun.
You were screaming?
Yeah.
I was singing, and then there was a screamer.
Oh, nice.
Oh, they had a
the
separate
heyday.
screamer.
Oh, you were in the heyday.
It's like a stunt screamer. It's like,
Yeah,
get in
that's-
here.
the money was fine. You could pay like 15 people to be on tour. One guy screaming, one guy just walking around hyping people up.
I know in the
Crapcore
90s.
times.
I mean, like, I remember when there was like people just like in bands that would just kind of like hang out there and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like,
That's cool. That's a rad job, though.
That's
That is
true.
right,
Reggae
yeah.
bands have the guy waving the flag.
that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Respect. Yeah.
It's,
Right.
it's all part of the experience.
Yeah. Just because you're not like making sounds doesn't mean you're not part of the band.
I
You
like
can be
the huge group on stage personally. Like, I hope that comes back.
I
Just
Right,
go to a
bands
hip-hop
like
show, yeah.
like Go-Go Bordello or something. where
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
yeah.
Just tons of members.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros.
Yeah, I feel
Oh,
like
yeah, there was like 15 people
Arcade
in that
Fire
band.
was kind of like turning into
Oh, yeah.
like Go-Go meets like mainstream for a second,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for sure, though, as a musician, to have gotten my start being part of a band. I think it just makes one really think outside of themselves. And I also feel like I was probably much like you guys really had in my heart, you know, this is for the band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. It's like a selflessness kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
love
like that. Like coming at it as like, oh, this is a collaborative spirit and not just like me trying to find people who will support my creative vision.
Yeah.
Because I think it's kind of one or the other, right?
I think so, but then I think also so many young people in their formative time, you know, I was always the one that took it a little too serious. That's like, can we try to play it exactly the same 2 times in a row?
What?
I mean, that's not
Mind
asking
blown.
too much, you know?
Not
Sometimes
at all.
it is.
It is for
I'm with you. When
Punk-
I was in a band,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like that too. I'm like, let's get it down. You know,
So
let's-
were you coming to these bands like just like let me learn your stuff, or were you like I have things to offer?
both. Some of it, you know, I was filling in for a singer or replacing a singer or something, and maybe they had songs already.
Okay.
And so would perform some of those, but was really, really desperate to be writing and always knew that I wanted to perform my own lyrics and material.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When did you make that transition from like playing with other bands to like kind of doing your own thing?
2017. Before then, it was always a band, and then I just started to realize that I wasn't gonna be a great band member. I could be a band leader, but that I didn't want to include anybody else. I couldn't explain to anybody
yeah.
Yeah.
what I was doing, what I am doing, and I can if I'm asking somebody to contribute to that or to play a role in that, but like so many people, just hurt some feelings, you know,
Yeah.
got my feelings hurt and decided that I should just drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should
That's
be
it.
brave enough to drive
If
too,
you-
or value the vocals enough to drive, because I think also vocalists in the rock scene, having started there, I'm a rapper now, but you know, started there, there's not a lot of regard or respect for that. And I was kind of my formative years occurred in that time where you weren't a legitimate musician unless you were playing an instrument. And I have a lot of respect for that. And I wish, that I had stuck with an instrument, but that I think being an incredible performer, songwriter, visionary is what I wanted to focus on.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you got the map, you got to drive.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, there are lots of people who would, like, no one would question their, like, artistry or their legitimacy that don't play instrument. I mean, as far as I know, Beyonce doesn't play an instrument, or like Mariah Carey, or people who are like,
yeah, like audiences just want you, like, however you contribute your song,
like you said,
your art.
being a visionary.
Audience isn't going to be necessarily like, oh, how much do they practice their scales playing that instrument? You know what I mean? Like, they're just going to be like, what am I feeling? What am I processing, right?
That's true. Yeah. I don't think that they really get tripped up on that. And I think for so much time, our tastes outpace our abilities. And I just choose to work with people who are very competent at what it is they do. And then I agree to be competent at what it is that I do.
Yeah, collaboration is key, man. But so before 2017, before you decided to drive, you were already writing though, right?
Yes, always.
Yeah. So, like, at what point did you start, like, sharing your songs?
Pretty early. I was sharing and performing my music way sooner, like way before I was recording it. I think that was always the drive, really, was to kind of be in the mix and having a message, and the message always seemed so much more important than the steps that it took, to do that, I guess, to like release it. Or it took a long time to care about industry standard, I guess. But that's just kind of more punk rock stuff where it wasn't cool to like care too much or to package it or to record it, or you're like, I'm going to play something new. We've never practiced this.
It's the vibe,
Yeah, right. It's all about message and feeling. I kind of love that because it's such an energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's like it was probably a really fun idiom to perform in. But I'm kind of curious because you were saying a second ago about, putting on a good performance and having the message and all that. I mean, you said you danced first. You're kind of this like whole interdisciplinary artist. So like when you talk about like performing, like what does that encompass for you?
I think that people who are called to put themselves before others have a responsibility and like a spiritual duty to not only entertain, but to have an experience before their audience. And I just take that really seriously. I feel upset watching performers that don't take that sacred responsibility as seriously as they could. I think that it is an art in the same way, like recording art. There's recording artists, there's performance artists, and the way that a great performer can make us feel, can change our lives, can absolutely change the trajectory of our lives. Yeah. And it's not everybody, and it's embarrassing and it's weird. And like I can't even, I get choked up and emotional even talking about it, because I think this is the closest thing that we have to a modern day shaman.
Yeah.
I love
so
that.
True. I love that. It's by shining, you give others permission to shine.
Yeah. And like you people don't come here. You didn't come here to be ignored.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't come here to say nothing.
Right? Oh,
I like that.
Love this.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You didn't come here to say nothing.
Yes.
But we're afraid, I think, too, sometimes. We're afraid to want things as badly as we want them. Or to do what we're being asked to do, what we're called to do when it comes to, let's say, performance. Having been a theatrical child to begin with, my partner and I talk a lot about, your calling because it's things that you're repeatedly asked to do.
Wow.
And so ever since I was young, as people, you should do that.
Yeah.
You should sing a song. You should get the fuck up out of this state, you know?
Yeah.
When did that happen? Like the getting out of New Mexico?
2015.
Wow.
2015.
And
But
you came to
Is
LA?
that when I met you?
no, we met in 2012 or 13.
Oh, you were visiting.
Yeah.
I remember the whole family came into town.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I was visiting. But by that point, I got picked up by a modeling agency when I was 19.
Okay.
But I got scouted at a mall.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
a
the
mall.
dream. Yeah. It happens.
And so after that, I was doing like winters in Miami and summers in LA,
Oh, wow.
just working,
Wow.
booking work.
That's very cosmopolitan.
It really was. I didn't expect it. I got like kind of sucked up out of oblivion and out of my state. But I had family here, and I just felt like all the time when I was back home in New Mexico, people are like, "You gotta get out of here."
Like, you're meant for
They
more.
saw it.
Go.
No,
Yeah.
you know what? It's funny.
I see it too.
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're glowing.
I've been to New Mexico. I like it, but I have another friend who's from Albuquerque, and she just really has nothing nice to say about it ever. And I think that's interesting how when you grow up somewhere, sometimes you're like, oh, fuck this place, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
totally.
everybody. Yeah.
But I also now have the thing where like I'm so nostalgic and like attached to where I'm come from. I'm like, don't you talk shit about my home state.
Yeah. Only I get to do that.
I was just about to say.
All of a
No.
sudden I'm all represent, but Kianah por vida.
No, I'm
Love
kind of
going home.
I'm kind of the same way with my hometown, but it's funny because she's very much like, ugh, Navajo print, turquoise jewelry, like all these people with all
Oh
their
my
Southwest
God,
stuff.
drench me.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but again,
Drench
it's
me in
like,
Pueblo textiles, please.
yeah. But yeah, you know, it's like what you grew up with. Sometimes you're like, ugh, like
And something I'm feeling compelled to talk about too is that in New Mexico is like a really spiritual place, you
Yeah.
know. And there are certain places in the country that feel like that. To me, Tennessee feels this way. You know, you can just kind of feel in the woods what's happened there. And same with Pacific Northwest. You know, there's like a spirit there.
Yes.
And I believe New Mexico is one of those places as well that history just doesn't seem so far away, and you're able to feel like maybe I'm the first person who stepped directly in this spot. You know, which I think as a child is a really cool feeling that encourages like a strong relationship with the natural, what we call the natural world, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that's something that really informed my artistry as well, because history really just isn't so far away compared to my life in LA, which is very like cosmopolitan.
and
as you would
everything, you know, everything's kind of paved over. And, you know, if you want to see something old, it's like, oh, this was built in the 40s.
Yeah. Everything's got right corners,
Yeah.
right angles everywhere.
Right. That's so funny. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, if you go to New Mexico, there's a lot more arches and like round.
I always end up like on these diatribes about back home.
I mean, it's, you know, it's hard not to. Because like you said, you kind of feel attached to and defensive of it and all that. But
Well, but in the same way that these aren't the safest places either to be an artist, let's say.
Right.
You know, there's a cap on what can happen right now, at least as far as music goes. Visual art, like fashion, you know, architecture, there's incredible fields there. But as far as being a musician, I couldn't make the sort of music that I wanted to make being there.
Yeah. When did you first connect with the music? Like you're like, okay, this is what I want to say. This is what I want to do. You know, when did you find your voice? Like you knew it throughout. Did it just hit you all at once? You're like, I want to do this, like just specifically this. Or was it like a process of like, maybe it's this? No, it's not that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was, once it occurred to me, it couldn't unoccur. And so I went to any show that I could, pretty much. I just wanted to be around the music. I liked was obsessed with rock films too, music films, you know.
Like which ones?
Like Almost Famous.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh my God, Penny's so cool. And it took me a while to realize that I didn't want to be her.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
I
the
wanted
mad-
to be them.
Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah.
I love that. I didn't want to be her. I wanted to be them.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I am the somebody.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think that's so. Was it like, were you writing before the Warped Tour experience, or was that like the spark?
I mean, I was always thinking about it because I loved the Spice Girls, you know,
Yeah.
So did I.
loved Destiny's Child, loved
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys. I still do. I mean, so much of my artistry is still so pop because of that. Like, loved watching MTV music videos, and I just thought one day I want to touch this. I want to participate in shaping culture this way. And if I'm honored to do so, you know, if I'm honored to have these opportunities, that I'm going to rise to them, and that I'm like not going to miss my chance to be a
love
part of that.
You're so talented and you have the vision. It sounds like you've always had the vision.
I know. Always had the map.
Yeah, she's always had it.
Get her a car. You know, you gotta get somewhere.
I know, for real. My car.
Yeah.
I just got to get some work on my car right now.
How did you first explore like just getting thoughts on paper? You know what I mean? Just to kind of like write. How did you first come to that? Because your words it's poetry. You know, so.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I actually, I'm remembering right now my mom finding a song I wrote when I was really young. Maybe 8 or something. And I was like being bullied at school, you know? And so just wrote some song about like kids being mean to me,
Wow.
you know? And she
Yeah.
was like crying when, you know, she found it in some little journal I had or whatever. And she was just like, is this how you really feel?
You're already moving people with your words.
Yeah. Do you remember any of those lyrics?
I feel like, no, I was just like, you know, it's like, I don't like you, like, go away, just be nice to me. Like, just like, you know, some little cute, it was really simple, I remember.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just like kind of writing it in my yard. And I remember too, I would perform for like my sunflower patch.
You're an amazing person.
What an audience. Yeah. They're always
You're a
sunny
great crowd.
Because to me, they look like little people.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love it. Yeah.
So I was always trying to like make a little show for them, or
Yeah.
I always was trying to make a show for my mom. Pretty much anybody who would let me.
Yeah.
You know, it was always like, look what I could do.
Yes, I might have also been that child.
You know? Yeah. Like
putting on lots of plays, which were really just kind of you like
Like, watch me.
playing
Right?
in front of.
They're like, yeah, make my little friends do a dance or make us like do a play.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever just like freestyle songs whilst performing at that point?
I don't know if I was that brave. I'm still not. Like, I'm not a freestyle rapper. I'm a little more rigid than that.
Well, I would never try to freestyle now, but when you're 8, the stakes are low.
No,
So
it's
too.
true. But then once I made bands
Yeah.
and stuff, I think I mean, most of us are raised by pretty like flawed or traumatized people, you know, and
Sure.
I was trying to figure out just the best way to human. And so I was Christian for 1 year in high school. 'Cause
Only
I
one?
Only one. Because I wasn't raised by a religious family. My mom was really spiritual. My mom's indigenous. And it was always like, you know, open to the candles, talking to spirit, talking to, you know, praying to the ancestors, like always a part of my life. But I remember thinking, you know, well, these Christians have like, they seem happy. They have pizza and volleyball on Wednesdays.
Sometimes there's donuts.
They're
All the
gonna
time
they're
there's
gonna let
donuts.
me be in the praise band. You
Oh,
know?
that's true.
Yeah,
Gotta be in the
That's where I
praise
cut my
band.
teeth, though.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good way to get some practice
God.
out
I
there.
will go
That's
to church
gigs.
if I could be on stage. Okay.
Yeah.
I will do it. But just appreciated like them giving, you know, just the vocabulary for trying to describe an internal world, or listening to this emo music was just like, everything is awful. It's like, I know.
That's every emo song.
Yeah.
I live in suburbia and the girl I she don't like me so.
Yeah, pretty much, just like that.
I love that.
I've heard that song. Yeah, I've heard that song. I know that song.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, you know what though? It's like emo is a really cathartic genre. We all went to see this band Copeland the other night, and like
it's been ages.
well, they're so I actually
Shout out
didn't,
Copeland. Love you guys.
20-year anniversary.
I didn't know about them when they were starting out, but like there were so many songs where like even though I didn't know the words, I kind of like could feel when that like cathartic part was coming, and it was just like, damn. It feels good. I mean, that there's something about like that kind of music where, especially I think when you're a teenager and you're just like full of all those feelings, you're like, yes.
And like a lot of these kids too were also, raised, like a lot of these bands were Christian bands or they were raised religious.
Yeah. They were
in some
religious
sort.
adjacent. They were right there.
Yeah. So I would say I started writing in that kind of framework only because that's the only vocabulary that we really had for the big questions.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember struggling with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But no, what I wanted was community.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then once I started doing music and forming and being a part of bands, that filled that chip in.
Yeah,
you
then
created
you had
your own community.
right.
Yeah. So there I had my gay best friend, Nathan Clifford, who still very good friends with, if you're listening. Nathan.
Shout out,
Shout out, Nate. What up?
And he is a year younger than me. He took me to his prom because he went to a Christian high school where like he couldn't take who he actually wanted to.
Right.
And we just had such a strong like friendship and alliance through that time. And they ended up asking him to quit the praise band.
What?
And if he wasn't going to
Date women.
if he wasn't going to date women, or if he wasn't going to stop talking about being gay, because
That's so messed
he
up.
also,
Yeah, that's terrible.
he had openly identified as gay since we were 12. I knew him through another friend.
That's pretty courageous, actually.
Yeah, it is.
That by the time we were 15, it just wasn't changing, and so they ended up
still gay.
still
so
gay.
ridiculous.
I know, right?
And so they asked him to step down from the praise band, and so then we both just quit going.
Bye-bye.
Good.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
well,
bye-bye.
good. That's lame. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, you know what? This isn't cute anymore. You're still choosing to.
No, that was the reason I went, is because I could sing on stage with my gay best friend.
Yeah, yeah. Can't do that.
I'm not going anymore.
Not interested.
Speaking of singing, though, I'd love to
Yeah.
hear what song, because
What early
for
song?
listeners, we're going to do an a cappella performance today. And this is the first time on Rockwardness we've ever done that. And I'm very excited that it's you, Kianah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited and I'm nervous. I listened to the song yesterday, and it's been years. The music video is still up on YouTube. If
Well, we have
What is it called?
faith, so
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah. It's When in Rome by Emergency Ahead, and it came out in like 2009. You'll see baby TwoLips. 8 to 10 on that first day, then I will be on my way. So long to the light side of the world. 8 to 10 on that first day, that fixes it all. Mangled soul and tattered heart, but I'm still going, standing tall, existing only when I blink, existing only once a week, rising, falling deep inside. Won't you tell me my time? Ooh, demons survive these days, you swore they were never alive. Crawling up and down my walls again with no one by my side. I'll pretend to try, I'll pretend you're alive. Tell my tales of lies and trials, color me, stay in the lines. You can try, oh my, oh my, oh my. Step into your ocean sail, drifting in between two states. You can try, but who are you to speak my mind? Existing only when I blink, existing only once a week, rising, falling deep inside. Won't you tell me my time? Demons survive these days, you swore they were never alive. Crawling up and down my walls again with no one by my side. I'll pretend to try, I'll pretend you're alive.
Yeah.
You are so talented.
Oh, that's so good. So was that a punk song? That was
Yeah.
like, oh wow, so like guitars and like
Totally.
bass. Wow.
No, 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 no.
Yes.
What is that song about?
When in Rome, it was about actually when I was quitting church.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
That like existing only once a week.
Yeah. Wow.
There are a couple lines in there. Okay, interesting. Yeah,
That's great.
I feel like because you're still a teenager at this point, right?
Yes.
Yeah, these are some pretty profound lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, she always had the juice.
Yeah, she always had the juice.
The vision, talent was there since the beginning.
Yeah, man. It honestly, it exists perfectly well all by itself too. No instrumentation. I was in
loved
it.
Yeah, I was inside of that. That was awesome.
So the video, what did you guys do for the video?
We were just like hanging out at the park, playing with each other. We did a couple different little time lapse things, and of course we end like all of us in this epic pose. It's like behind a church, and the church is backlit and stuff.
Oh, nice!
It's super fun. I feel so like I have such fond memories of what it felt like to care about something that much. Mm-hmm. And I think that the power of teen angst is just ever present, and I hope to just never lose that.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. We kind of make fun of, or we generally speaking kind of make fun of it, but teen angst is really powerful.
It's really potent.
I mean, like think about all the not just music, but like art, television, film, whatever, all of the things that are created around this, around like those stories. I mean, Romeo and Juliet. What is that about other than teen angst?
I also did hear like that's particularly a kind of Western thing where like I was abroad once. I was in Europe at this residency, and they were like, "Yo, American high school seems awesome."
So intense.
You're like, don't worry,
They make
it's not.
so many movies about what's happening to you guys in high school.
That's so true.
I know. And it's funny. It's like, oh, don't worry. It's not great.
But also, like, the teenager is a uniquely American, or I think it's actually like it's British and American. The creation of that is a class of people.
When did that concept arise of like a teenager? Like being separate than like, because it just used to be like kid, adult, right?
Man, I feel like I knew everything because I watched TikTok on it. But
All right, everybody, go to TikTok.
I know. We'll find that link.
Yeah,
We'll put it in
go
show
to
notes.
TikTok before it's banned and find out for us. Sorry, collective groan.
no, but I think it's relevant and important because, it's like an attack on free flow of information. And TikTok it has taught me so much. I'm so grateful for it as a platform. It took me forever to get on it, but now I'm thrilled and I don't want it to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I just learn about crazy perspectives from like young, brilliant people in other parts of the world. Like as a musician, it's fine. I share my little cute whatevers. I'm much more interested in what I receive from it.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
What it's done for indigeneity is really, really incredible because I think to navigate this world as an indigenous person is to constantly understand or to have people understand you in reference to the past. And depictions are nearly always of either the past or the point of colonial contact. And so seeing that for me as an indigenous person, like I get to see more indigenous people than I ever have before. And like, they are alive today
Yeah.
Yeah.
in their communities,
Still
in
doing
your
shit.
communities.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're still here, and like it sounds perhaps crazy to say, but there's some people, and I'm multiracial and stuff. There's some people that I am the first Native person they have met, and honored and great, but like you that's just that of.
Yeah.
Well, that's
exactly.
true. Yeah.
Right.
We are everywhere.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Just like to meet somebody as they are versus like what the past, like you put it beautifully.
Well, and I think that's a distinctly indigenous struggle in that, I mean, maybe people on the continent in Africa experience that because people go there and
for
they're
sure.
like, oh my God, you guys are a modern country.
Oh my God.
No, I would say that is definitely true, just in the way that people in the West kind of continue to talk about Africa. You know?
I mean, yeah, it was so nuts, like reading some texts from 1500s Europe where they're in Africa and they're like, we're studying one of the, original peoples. Like even then they were denying Africans their modernity. Like they're not in the past. They exist.
They exist right now.
Right then and there as contemporary people, not a people frozen in time.
Well, the difference between sociology and anthropology, right? Like just it's almost entirely semantic, but it's really important. And anthropology tends to be more other or past. Maybe both. Sociology is more, equal and present, I think.
And the past is, absolutely happening right now all around us all the time.
That's certainly true. I kind of wanted to actually, this is, I think, a great time to maybe segue into, I read something about how you are kind of incorporating your Indigenous heritage into your music.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. I think people who belong to any marginalized group feel responsible for speaking for them. And I could never purport to do such a thing. I can speak on what my experience is as a person born to an Indigenous mother. And the only reason it seems to really be so important is, again, that people forget that we are here. And for that purpose, because of the idea of the disappearing Indian, the disappearing Native, I feel a responsibility. And that's not the only thing about me. There's plenty of other things about me, but I absolutely adhere to a decolonial mindset. I do think that we exist in the so-called United States and that I am navigating the colonized world at all times. And I'm not the only one. And I think people are more and more receptive to some of this vocabulary, some of what this means, and not in a scary way. But what I want is for, if we have future generations, if we get our shit together and we have future generations, I need them to look back and know that some people were trying. I need them to know that there were Afro-Indigenous people that exist right now that see them, that we're working to make the world a safer place for them.
That feels like a big responsibility.
I feel jealous sometimes of artists who seemingly get to make just because they think it's fun. And sometimes I'm like, can't I just make things just for fun? But I don't appreciate art that's made just for fun all the way. And that's my thing, like I wish. But that's not the cards that I was handed. And that's not what compels me to make either. So I don't even really have a choice in the matter to make something that's not charged. I can't make apolitical music when my existence is political.
Wow, yeah.
That is really beautifully put, I think.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're making, it's funny because like, I think anybody who just like listened to your music wouldn't be like, oh, this is so political necessarily. Because I mean, it's danceable, it's like poppy, it's awesome. But it's like, I mean, yeah, like what else would you write about other than things that matter to you?
Yeah. And so much of that is, I credit my mom for a lot of who I am. And that if I wasn't doing something humanitarian or if I wasn't doing something to improve the quality of life for marginalized people, then I wasn't carrying out my duty as a steward of this place. And, my ancestry, my lineage is from so many places. And so like most of us, so the concept of home is a constantly shifting thing for people, and it really can't just run along ancestral lines. Our world has been so blurred that we have to seek out new ways to feel at home where we are, or to feel that our voice is impactful for one reason or another. And what I know is that this paradigm does not work for me. And it doesn't work for most people that I know, even the people that it purports to. And so I'm just going to be probably one of many artists in this time that we can, credit for really trying to make paradigm shifting music. And I'm also feeling compelled, like making intersectional music, making like identifiably Afro-Indigenous rap. I feel like it's part of the rewilding process. I'm a big fan of Bio Kumalafe, who's like a contemporary scholar, thinker person. Encourage anybody to look him up. But and Robin, I'm forgetting her last name, but she wrote Braiding Sweetgrass. It's just talking about like we have to think of find new ways to think of ourselves.
We'll put those in the show notes, by the way. Because this is important shit.
Yeah,
People need to know.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the music making process when you're, thinking about like what did you say? Conspicuously Afro-Indigenous rap. I love that.
Yeah, identifiably Afro-Indigenous rap.
Did that kind of chapter of your music start in 2017 when you decided to drive? Which, sorry, I just loved that metaphor.
No, I think in 2017 I was still trying to make R&B, and I was still being from New Mexico, which does not have a lot of Black people. I was still trying to navigate my relationship to Blackness, I would say. And so I was making things that were more in like the R&B lane because that's the genre that we were allowed to be in, that was not too far from the indie and alt genres that had begun to like rise, in prominence as rock sort of took a back seat in the culture. So I was kind of part of that transition, listened to a lot of the internet, a lot of, Sandy Gold, things like this, incredible music that it didn't occur to me to make rap music until maybe 2018, just because of, I wasn't brave enough.
Well, it probably felt like an ideological shift too, in a way, to be like, going from being like, well, I'm a singer-songwriter to being like, I'm a rapper. I think it's a little bit of
I had to admit, honestly, as we're talking about it, like I had to admit that I was really angry. And I don't think rap inherently has to be angry or sad, but that was the only way that people might understand the intensity and severity of what I feel. Because we can listen to R&B and it's like, you can almost listen to it in the back, I became very inspired by artists like that had a really cutting rap style, such as like a Vince Staples or Ye, or that I need a new vehicle for that. But also most of the female rappers that their songs are being written by men, and most of them are written for the club or the strip club, and it took a while I didn't find a home. I still don't have one. I had to make one.
But it sounds like you've always kind of been like that, like forging your own path.
Yeah.
Kind of doing your own thing and just being like, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. And I have something to say.
Yeah. Fitting in was never really an option either. It's not something that was ever afforded to me. I don't fit in anywhere. And so you just have to make your own home and stand on that. And even because I'm an actor as well, and one thing my acting coach has said is there's no wrong decisions. There's just untrue ones.
Yeah.
And
love it.
So long as you are making a true decision, that will be conveyed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So long as you believe it. What people don't like is when you're pitching something you don't all the way believe in, or you don't all the way know.
Yeah. We were just talking about that. Like you can smell it.
Yeah, well, it's like,
right away.
Yes.
Like
the
this
decision
person's
to reveal yourself or not, to be vulnerable. And this is like, you believe in this. You're telling the world by saying something that's true to you. You're being like vulnerable to the world, being like, this is what I feel and this is what I think. And it's so scary. But like, it's also, people know who you are at that point. And that's a light that shines bright. And again, it's that whole, you ignite other people by showing your light. That's beautiful.
I saw you play in probably 2018, I think.
Nuh-uh.
At the hi-hat?
Yes, at the hi-hat,
Yeah.
opening for Color Coast. Maybe
Oh, that would have been Satellite.
now I'm questioning myself, but I'm pretty damn sure it was at the hi-hat.
I played, I think, 2 shows at the hi-hat.
Yeah. No. Was it one for maybe Play Like a Girl? Did
Yeah.
you do a show for them? It must have been that one. Yeah. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm like
That's so crazy. I know you see me.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Sorry. I
We like to save it till like 50 minutes into the episode.
yeah, I just, but yeah, so what, you have this amazing record out now. What are your sort of plans as far as like, do you want to tour? Are you working on another record? Like what's happening?
I have so much new music that's about to come out.
Nice.
And lots of like videos, visuals and stuff. I've gotten better and I'm excited. I'm excited to share. Each time you share, you get to like give people an update of who you really are right now.
Yeah.
What you're really listening to, what you're really caring about. So I'm really, really excited to share, whether that's with anybody that's just coming in now or anybody who would have seen me then. Probably even more so for people who would have seen me before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting to kind of be like, no, come see the next
update,
stage of the journey.
That's one thing I will always agree to do as an artist for anybody who has been rocking with TwoLips for a while or who is new. And part of why I think that, I get so many reviews on my live performance is that I agree to give you guys something new every time. And
That's awesome.
I agree to have grown since the last time that you saw me.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That's good.
It's a good deal.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah,
just,
packed.
I think there's something to like for anybody who's ever like gigged regularly, you can get like sick of your own live performance if you're not careful.
No, I don't. It's
Right?
not allowed.
Oh, yeah. No, but
Not
that's-
allowed.
Every band.
I mean,
goes
but
through
like if you're not careful,
you got to play
yeah.
it like it was the first time. You know,
Yep.
like it was the first time that they ever seen it.
Yeah.
Anytime you have to do tricks, you have to convince yourself,
Yes.
you have to find ways to make it new
Keep
and
it
to
new.
mean
Yeah,
it still.
spicy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
I mean,
that.
that's like an actor too, right? Like, each time's the first time. Yeah.
But I think that we've missed some of that, like, in the people talk shit about like the participation trophy generation
Sure.
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, you have to like really outdo yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each
Nowadays,
time.
for sure.
And I also want to alleviate us from that because that wasn't our idea. It's not that we all wanted a participation trophy. It's that our parents all wanted award-winning children.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Can I just make a little callback and say amen?
That's funny because it was like about the parents. I always thought of it as like, oh, they love the kids so much that they want to get. It wasn't that.
it was
No,
kind
it was
of-
a
everything's
trick.
for the adults.
It was kind of about our self-esteem, but I think you're right. It was more about wanting the award-winning children, like the Kid in the Gifted program.
Got
Yeah.
it.
I mean, no, if they
My
really
eyes
wanted
are
to
open.
equalize, there would have been no place. They would have just done no prizes.
No play. Yeah, no prizes
Right.
at all. Everyone just
know-
gets a handshake.
Everyone gets it. You did this and congratulations.
job.
Yeah.
Doing is the reward, right?
Right. Yes, you're rewarded by having done a good job.
Just stop messing with your kids.
Well, I mean,
let them be.
Let them, yeah.
let them
support
be, but
them,
make sure they
encourage
don't
them.
die.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Teach them to share.
Right.
Teach them to share.
Yeah.
Terrence, I have a question. You texted about which TwoLips song?
Radar.
Radar.
Yeah.
Do you mind? Would you sing some of that for us
Oh, really?
to close us out? Is that possible?
Totally. Sing some Radar.
Yeah.
Sure. Fall into your radar. Let's see. I feel like I would rather rap some of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Been there, I've been scared. I let fear be tatted on my face, but my warrior spirit on the chase lay low. Cause it's coming from the inside. Quit getting lost when you're trying to be whole. Running through the world like you're praying for a new one. A new one. Yeah, a new one. And asking every God why I gotta choose one. Choose one, choose one, choose one, choose one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna jump and leap. Oh yeah, I'm gonna raise the heat. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a scene. Oh yeah, I'm gonna play for keeps. Oh yeah, no, I ain't gonna slow my roll. TwoLips got shots to call. Oh yeah, I make room for my family tree. Shed light on my family tree. Go, cause you can't rewind. Careful what's on your mind. Understand that this is a tactic delivered to trap you. If you are a brown folk, you better look into my eyes and see my humanity. Stuck in a prism, capitalism, wrecking the season. Can't be the reason. What is the meaning? Give me a seizure. Try to escape the system of pain. I wanted to die, but I didn't mean it. No, I didn't mean it. Wanted to die, but I didn't mean it. No, I didn't mean it. Don't need the patience. Don't need the goal. This generation don't need the chemicals. Listen to the sound of me losing my mind. Can't get no reply, cause I'm in overdrive. Pretty little hood rat, call me on my line, but I'm spiraling. Now I had to hit the decline button. I'm just trying to find the truth in the lie, son. I'm just trying to find the truth in the lie, son.
Yes. Sorry if that was out of nowhere. I've just been looking forward to it ever since you told me you were going to do some acapella stuff. I've been literally just dreaming about it.
No, I just love that
so
you're like,
much.
oh, you're going to throw me a curveball.
I
Boom.
got it.
I throw curveballs
Ready.
sometimes.
Yeah, you're just saying.
You caught it.
Yeah. Oh man, thank you.
What was that you were saying about training for sports? Gotta
That's
stay ready.
right.
Yeah.
Stay ready.
Yeah, stay ready. Wow.
Wow. Well, Kianah,
Thank you
It's not
so
just
much
for me,
for
just
being
you.
like your presence. Thank you for
Yes.
everything.
Aw,
Just
thank y'all
truly.
so
You are
much.
glowing.
Yes.
You guys are so wonderful to talk to. Sometimes I'd be wondering, I'm like, am I the awkward one? And now I know it was all them because you
Oh,
guys.
yeah. We're all super awkward.
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Kianah.
much.
TwoLips. Check her out everywhere.
Well, I really feel like I need to give TikTok another chance. Just kidding, that was not the main takeaway. No, I'm just really impressed with her vision and drive to create. I love thinking about teenage Kianah back in New Mexico, just trying all the bands like whoever was looking. Probably great training, honestly. Little general ed courses before you graduate to your own band that's your actual vision. I'm very pleased to tell you that Emergency Ahead's video link is in the show notes so you can get that glimpse into the past as well. I would love to see one of those destroyed coffee shop shows, though. TwoLips just put out a single with Def Sound on the 4th of July. That's called Friend Anthem. She also put out a summer banger in May called MFKN Free. I'm thinking that's short for motherfucking. What do you think? I'll throw those links in the show notes. I'm including links not just to her music, but her other artistic endeavors as well, and some of the influences, writers, and yes, TikTokers she talked about in the episode. Please follow TwoLips on all the things. You can follow us too while you're at it. We're Rockwardness on all the stuff. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to the pod as well, we sure would appreciate the algorithm boost. A rate and review would help us out more than you know. We're so thrilled you're listening, and we hope you'll tune in next time. Oh, fuck, there's an ice cream truck. I gotta go.